Welcome back. Let's shift focus to the commodity markets now. Manisha is with us in the studio. Manisha, what's on your radar?
Well, I'm looking at sugar prices because, while gold and silver are trading near all-time highs, metals doing well, energy has continued to decline, and that in some sense has put pressure on the sugar prices. So when you look at the international raw numbers, we've seen 5% of a decline come in for the raw sugar prices on a week-on-week basis, and we are down by 18% in this year so far. Last year also, it was a negative year for the sugar prices, where we saw a decline of around 14%. The reason for this constant pressure on the prices is, one, that there is selling pressure from funds. So that perhaps, if that turns around, you could be looking at some support. But currently, we are trading below 16 cents a pound in the global markets there. The second thing is about expectation of an ample global supply going forward, especially for 2025-26 as a season in the global markets there. You're looking at higher production, not just from Brazil, but for the Indian markets, where we are anticipating an year-on-year 18% of a surge in sugar. And Thailand, which is the third largest producer of sugar, is also looking at very strong numbers this time around. For Brazil especially, which is the biggest producer and exporter for sugar as well, this time around, instead of ethanol, they have increased sugar production from 49.15 in the last year to 55%. So there is that much sugar coming into the global markets from Brazil as well. So when you look at the global sugar production, the overall numbers there, last year was around 186.6 million tons. Of course, there are various ranges from agencies, anywhere between 180 to 189 on the higher side as well. But this year, we are looking at the second largest sugar production. These are USDA numbers. They're anticipating 189.3 million tons of global sugar production this time around. The consumption numbers also, by the way, have continued to gain up. These are the International Sugar Organization numbers. So while we are looking at a sixth year of deficit in case of sugar for the coming season as well, but last year, the deficit was 4.8 million tons. This time around, just about 230,000 tons. So we are looking at a considerable increase in sugar production and inventories in the global markets there. When you look at the Indian markets, well, as I said, 18% higher sugar production anticipated this year. This is on the back of favorable monsoon, increased acreage, and higher sugarcane prices. The FRP, remember, was increased 4% previous year, and the last 3 years, we've seen constant increase in the fair and remunerative price when it comes to sugar there. This is what we're anticipating in sense of sugar production. ISMA has put out a number at 34.9 million tons. National Sugar Federation puts it at 35, and so has Crystal Ratings as well, saying that around 35 million tons of sugar production is what we could be looking at in the coming season there. Interestingly, while you have 5% on sugar and mithais, 40% on carbonated drinks is something that the industry really seems to be working on right now. So the expectation that you would be looking at demands increasing for mithai this festival season, but sweetened drinks is something that could see a decline, as we've been talking in the last few days.
Okay. All right. Manisha, thank you very much for that. Well,